My theory is that the Scots invented folk songs so that by comparison the bagpipes would sound nice. Here are a few lines from the Loch Tay boat song. Her eyes are like the gleam of the sunlight on the stream, and the songs the fairies sing seem like songs she sings at milking. But my heart is full of woe, for last night she bade me go, and the tears begin to flow. My heart's a boat in tow, and I'd give the world to know why she means to let me go. One more story and then I'll be done. It involves some local history. This involves, superficially, the Clan Campbell. But there is an element involving the McGregors that I will save for the very end. This is a true story. It is not a myth. There was in Scotland in the 1700s a Duncan Campbell who was a laird of a great estate. And one evening, while he was home alone, I have no idea. Where the servants were, I have not any idea. There was a pounding at the door of his mansion. And Duncan Campbell opened the door. It was evening, dusk. A shadowy figure stumbled in, covered in blood. And the man said, I am a fugitive. The law pursues me. I invoke the Highland tradition of sanctuary. This was something common in the Highlands in the ancient days. If a man came to your door saying he was pursued, even if he was a total stranger, you hid him. Because in the days of the clan conflicts, the clan wars, the fights with England, fugitives were very common and hiding places were in great demand. In any case, the stranger stumbles in and he says, I invoke the tradition. Duncan Campbell, honoring this sacred tradition, hid the man. Shortly afterwards, a mob turns up at his door, and they are all people he knows. And they say, Duncan, your cousin has just been murdered. We are pursuing his murderer. We think he came this way. Have you seen any strangers in the last hour? And Duncan Campbell had. He understood then he had hidden the murderer of his cousin. And he was torn, understandably. But the tradition was so strong, and he honored it so highly, he did not tell the murderer's pursuers that that man was in his house. He sent them on their way. Duncan was confused, morally, I think spiritually, but he hid the man because that is what his fathers and his grandfathers would have done. That evening, as the story goes, the ghost of his murdered cousin appeared to him and said, Duncan, you must give up this man. Your own blood has been shed. I am your kinsman. Duncan did not let the man go, did not give him up to the authorities. The ghost appeared several times during the night, and again, Duncan wrestled with himself, but in the end upheld the tradition, and the ghost vanished. And that morning, the fugitive slipped out of the house, and Duncan Campbell never saw him again. The ghost had said something just before it vanished. This very angry spirit said to Duncan Campbell, we will meet again at Ticonderoga. Duncan Campbell had never heard that word. He had no idea what it was. It troubled him, it frightened him. And for several weeks, he asked everyone he knew, what was this Ticonderoga? No one knew of it. They couldn't help him. Duncan Campbell was an officer in the Black Watch Regiment. France and England went to war. The regiment was called into service and sent to North America to fight that portion of the war that was called the French and Indian War. The Black Watch came up from Albany, marching through this area toward what they were told was Fort Caroline on Lake Champlain, the great French fortress. A couple of the officers knew that